Hi, you're in the kitchen with the People's Pharmacy. I'm Joe Graydon.
I'm Terry Graydon. Joe, hiccups. They can be so annoying. Most of the time, they don't last very long.
But they're also embarrassing and they can be uncomfortable. We've got all kinds of remedies. If one doesn't work, we've got lots more to share with you. My favorite remedy, because it's actually been written up in the New England Journal of Medicine, is a spoonful of white granulated sugar.
Now, you just swallow it down without any liquid, without taking any time, and usually it works.
Well, that's what the research suggests, and we'll share how it works in a minute. My next remedy is not quite as tasty.
A little more challenging, but it's a bartender's favorite. And bartenders have had to help people with hiccups a lot because if you drink too much, it may trigger hiccups.
Yep. So,
pretty sour, huh?
Yeah, and if you don't like lemon, you can always try a little lime.
Just as sour.
Yes. I think we'll go sweet. A few chocolate chips. Much better.
We have heard from people who say this is their family's favorite hiccup remedy and that it works quickly. We've never tried the chocolate chips for hiccups, have we?
But they're tasty.
Yes, they are. You want to not eat too many.
So this is your turn, Terry.
Okay.
An olive.
Indeed.
Don't swallow the pit. So if the olive doesn't work, we've got pickles. Yum. I happen to love pickles. And this is almost guaranteed to work. Yum. But you got to chew it up, and we'll tell you why it works. How about the Angostura bitters, Tara?
Well, that is another bartender favorite. And the idea is usually bartenders keep the Angostura bitters on hand for making a mixed drink. But what you're going to do with this for the hiccups is pour yourself an entire spoonful, which is going to take a little while because it's not supposed to come out as a spoonful.
There you go.
All at once.
And that'll wake you up.
It will indeed.
Now, this is the one that's probably the most controversial of all. A teaspoonful of peanut butter. Now, we have been chastised for this remedy.
Because some people take too big a spoonful and choke on it. You really need to be careful not to overdo with the peanut butter.
If none of those remedies work, a little vinegar to wash down the peanut butter.
Hopefully you won't need all these remedies. We're thinking actually any one of these works against hiccups.
They should. After that vinegar, you're going to need something to wash it down. And fortunately, one of the tricks is water, and it also helps eliminate the hiccups if nothing else has done the job.
But you do need a helper for this remedy.
Yes. Would you do the honors?
I will. What I'm doing is I'm pushing down on the little flaps on Joe's ears. It's called the tragus. Go ahead and drink, Joe.
And when you do that together,
your hiccups are gone.
So we'll tell you how all these remedies work in just a second.
Joe, how do hiccup remedies work?
Well, before we explain the mechanism, what are hiccups again?
Well, the hiccup is it's a reflex in which the diaphragm kind of spasms, and that spasm pushes air up through your larynx, and that makes that funny little noise.
Right. So we have to interrupt that spasm, that reflex, and we do that by stimulating another nerve, the phrenic nerve, which is at the top of your palate. And so it doesn't much matter whether it's a teaspoonful of sugar or chocolate chips, or lemon or lime wedges, or
Angostura bitters.
olives, or pickles, or even vinegar. And if all else fails, that water.
Now, you do have to have your partner pushing on your ears. There you go.
And that will, again, trigger that reflex to stop, because you've been stimulating another nerve, the phrenic nerve, the vagus goes down, and it takes away the hiccups almost instantly. So next time you have a hiccup problem,
You can choose your remedy.